Hello YouTube, it's TechnoGowan31, and today I have an Apple iPad 2 review. It's been a little over a year after it came out, so we're going to really see how this, if it's worth buying an iPad 3 or an iPad 2. We're going to explain the differences between those. We're going to do internet, games, and we're going to run through all the outside specs. So let's start with that first. You have a 9.7 inch screen with that awesome scratch resistant glass, actually fingerprint resistant glass, sorry about that. Like I said before, it's 9.7 inch display by like 1224 by 1800 or something like that. Anyway, and then you have like at every Apple device, you have your home button. You have your front VGA facing camera for FaceTime, Skype. Uvu is another one. It's not the best quality, so I really don't use it that much because it's really not the best quality. 33% thinner than the previous generation iPad. Let's see, you have your volume rocker to the side. You have your this switch could actually be used for two things, either to turn all sounds off or to lock the screen from rotating. I normally put it on the rotating thing because it just gets quite annoying after a little while. Then you have your little microphone there in the middle, 3.5mm headphone jack, if nobody else wants to hear what you're doing right now. Power button, your back-facing camera. It can record 720p HD at the best. It's not the best camera. Like the camera on the iPad 3 gets 1080p video recording, and it's actually bigger. It's like goes out to like here or something. It's a pretty big. It's a bigger camera. You have your iPad logo, Apple, your speaker, your charging ports. Tells you how many gigabytes you have. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 32. Alright, so that is basically all the outside specs. So now we're going to get into what apps this thing comes with. Alright, as you can see, it comes with the first 4 rows of apps. The bottom you don't do whatever with. It comes with Safari, Mail, Photos, Music. Safari is the web browser. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Your camera is going to record 1080. Let me just put the camera up. Alright, so it's not going to be the best quality unless you're watching this in 720p, which I hope you are, by the way. So you can turn it any way, and iOS 5.1 has that new little button thing that you can press, except instead of pressing it way down there, it just makes it a little, it just makes it easier. And the front-facing camera will be like that. There we are. Alright, so it actually does look like it comes in better, but it really doesn't, especially when you're on a FaceTime or Uvu or something like that. So let's put the iPad down. Ignore the pocket knife, please. Anyway. Alright, so now let's get to internet server. You can get your iPad in Wi-Fi or 3G with Verizon or AT&T. No 4G on this. That comes later in the iPad 3. Your Wi-Fi is going to be 802.11n, which I think is basically the main Wi-Fi everywhere now. So let's see a speed test. Now I'm going to count in my head, and if you guys do the same, I bet you we're going to get close to the same number. So I am going to go, let's see, www.callofduty.com. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that took about 4 seconds to load. The iPad 3 might load a second, not really any more than a second quicker. The iPad 1 will be definitely slower. And this is actually processed by the A5 chip, which is actually made by Samsung. And this is very smooth. Like, I've never used anything in my life where it's that smooth. And so you see the new zombies. And it comes in actually pretty good. So anyway, the iPad 3 actually has a 4 times the amount of pixels the iPad 2 has to make the text come in razor sharp. Like, I'm talking, like, you can't even see where the pixels are. This has a, I would guess, I don't know what the exact PPI is of this iPad. I'll leave that down below in the comments. It's got to be at least 4 times lower than the iPad 3, because I know that the iPad 3 has 4 times the amount of pixels per square inch, so it makes text come in razor good. Alright, and this actually has it's dual what is it? Well, it has 512 megabytes of RAM. It has the A5 processor, while the iPad 3 has the A5X processor. And the iPhone 4S also has the A5, making games very nice and smooth. So let's play Angry Birds Space. And I think I might actually do a level walkthrough on Angry Birds Space as well. Welcome back. You have a Space Eagle. Okay. Thank you. Yes, I will definitely be doing a Angry Birds walkthrough. Alright, so game performance is going to be pretty good. Let's just play Pig Bang. We'll do level 1. This level can't be any easier. Done. Done. Alrighty, so game performance is going to run very good with that new A5, not new, but the A5 processor. So if you think that's smooth, the iPad 3's A5X processor is going to be even smoother, which I don't know how that's going to turn out until, you know, you get one. So, okay then. Now, I have been hearing some things on YouTube about the Galaxy Tab 10.1 from Samsung and the iPad 2 being too closely the same. So Apple was actually going to sue Samsung because of this. I completely agree. They are almost exactly the same, except for the iOS fact, iOS 5.1, but the cameras are the same. The only difference is that the Samsung 10.1 is actually made to be held sideways. iPad's original way is like that. You know, it kind of disappoints me. It's very similar to the iPad 2, which many people don't like, actually, as a matter of fact. Alright, and then you have, you know, your classical way of, you know, just turning it. It reacts very quickly, while the Kindle Fire is like this. I'll show you. The Kindle Fire is actually very slow at doing that, so iPad 2 is very smooth. It's going to be running iOS 5.1. Well, I actually got it at 5.0.1, but then there was an update a couple months back to 5.1, which didn't really do much. It just made the camera with the, you know, the little button on the side instead of having to press it down at the bottom, which makes life a lot easier. All right, then you have your iMessage, just message people. Now iMessage, it's going to be unlimited texts. If you have an iPhone, you're going to have to pay monthly like you would normally do with a phone. Alrighty then. This has been a full iPad 2 review, a little over a year after it came out. To the iPad 3, I'd say it's pretty close, just the Retina display is different. I'll definitely be doing an Angry Birds walkthrough. Stay tuned for Resident Evil 5. Rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm Technically Alan 31, and I'll see you later, guys.